Guess who my guest is this week? What? He thinks he's this big get. I mean, he's not a big get for me.
We talk about that in this podcast. I am a big get. I am a big get.
Not for me.
We talk about our relationship.
Yes.
We talk about my shortcomings as a parent.
Yes.
We talk about my punitive behavior with myself.
So we talk about you a lot.
We talk about me. We also talk about Christ-like behavior.
Yeah.
We talk about living true to your heart.
Yes.
Forgiveness.
Yes.
It's a really good podcast. And Leanne gets buzzed.
A little bit.
Well, a little
My
bit.
My signature cocktail.
We had
signature
it's empty by cocktails. Now. Yeah, but she just needs one drink.
But isn't this a cute little glass? It comes with its own olive. Oh.
I had 3 drinks.
I had 1.
And it's a great podcast. We have a good time.
It was really fun. Next week, I believe Mikkel, my trainer, is going to be on. So if anybody has any questions for Mikkel, please email them to me, Leanne at wifeotp.com. You can also go to wifeotp.com and send an email through that. You can DM me at L Kreischer on Instagram.
Just chicks.
What?
No dude DMs.
What?
I don't read chick DMs. You
whatever.
Don't read dude DMs.
I read any DM. Everybody's nice to me. I don't know what your problem is.
Slide in your DMs. Leanne, I think you could do better.
Any questions for Mikkel, please send them because I'm going to be sending them to him and we're going to be discussing this week at some point.
Oh, we talk about my personal trainer?
Did talk
about
it.
And we talk about how we have a very serious, heartfelt conversation about my run today.
Yeah.
And
it was riveting.
Fucking.
Or not.
I hope you enjoy this podcast. And by the way, if you like me as a podcast guest, let Leanne know. Slide in her DMs. Say, hey man,
I tell you what, I think people like a smattering of Bert. I don't think they tune in
across the board. No, my whole life. That should be too much. Bert can be aggressive.
Well, I mean, I don't want anyone to think my podcast is just Bert. I'm just having trouble booking people because it's just been really hard. People's schedules are busy. What?
Coronavirus.
It's the coronavirus. And the nature of my podcast is we're in person and it's a hangout. And my friends aren't like Zoom people so much. So like they spend all day on Zoom. So I'm just having a bit of a hard time booking my normal format. So I'm happy to have you as a guest, but thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for all your emails and comments. I really do appreciate them. I read all of them. I can't respond to all of them, but I do read them. So thank you very much. And I hope you enjoy this episode of Wife the Party. What number is this, Halston?
Number 160.
160.
160?
Nice.
That's fucking impressive.
That's pretty good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wife the Party with your host, Leanne Kreischer, and her guest, stand-up comedian, podcaster, author, and actor.
And dad.
And
husband.
And a dude who brings the thunder in the sheets, Bert Kreischer. Austin, stay on the screen. I like talking to you, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Were you going somewhere?
No, I was just going to let you guys do your thing.
He was going to let us talk to each other. Do you have trouble being alone with me?
No, I don't have any problem.
Is that hard for you to be alone with your wife?
No. What is our lunatic dog doing?
Chasing the other dog.
Oh, fuck.
I know.
Hey guys, brand new Wife of the Party.
I have several things to ask you about. Are you ready?
Me or Halston?
Bert. I'm looking at the camera because people are going to look at. Okay. So they're not looking at me like this. I mean, I'll look at you sometimes, but is this better?
No. This is better. I'll look at you in the camera too.
That way I can see you in the camera. I'm looking at you.
Okay, I'm looking at you.
I mean, I can ask Halston too, but
go ahead.
But I'm asking you.
Hey, Charles, let's take a toast for our signature cocktails.
Signature
this
cocktails.
This has been a new lifestyle change of ours.
This is called alcoholism in the pandemic. I never drank until the pandemic.
Whoa, what the fuck was that?
That's called a boulevardier.
Damn.
And mine's an aviation.
It does taste a little bit like cough syrup.
Mine tastes pretty good.
Really?
You want to taste mine?
No, I'm good.
We can share germs. We live together.
No, I'm good.
No, okay. So you, I don't know if it's been released yet, but you podcasted at your new studio outside. What'd you think?
I think it needs to be color corrected. Has Andrew? I mean, both for whatever reason, both things I shot at my new studio. I shot Something's Burning and the new podcast, and they both seem very whitewashed to me.
Really? Why?
Yeah, I don't know. And I texted Andrew today, and I was like, "Is that me? Like, am I losing my vision?" But I noticed. I think it's with those Blackmagic cameras. You have to go in and color correct them. I think you have to put them run them through a filter.
Is that right, Halston?
Yeah, it's the cameras. And it's like really tricky because of how like the sun is setting over the 2 hours.
It'll be easier when we're indoors because you can just be locked and loaded. Everything's the same. But, it's troubleshooting. And to be honest with you, the thing I love about this business is having fun and doing something different. I don't love the it's interesting. I've been thinking about this a lot. I don't love the security of this business.
Okay.
Meaning when you get a job for like Travel Channel.
Yeah.
And they go, hey, we're going to hire you for 2 years.
Yeah.
That gives me anxiety. It gives me a lot of anxiety.
Why? Because 2 years is too short or 2 years is too long?
No, because I don't like people. I'm afraid I'm going to let people down in what I say on podcasts or what I post or, everyone, once you start.
Well, what's that have to do with 2 years? You're working for 2 years.
So when I was at Travel Channel, I was talking about this a little bit with Mary Lynn today. When I was at Travel Channel, I had people whose paycheck depended on me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I, say, smoked weed on Rogan or said something off color, like I would in my stand-up,
mm-hmm.
There was the fear of losing that job. And losing that job, is kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that. I'm probably have been at my happy. And I think that's what's going on with the Go Big show right now for me. Is you get a show and then you want it to get picked up and you want it to do well. And then you realize, there's 400 people or 250 people whose job depends on you keeping your nose out of the dirt.
And you feel you have a hard time keeping your nose out of the dirt?
No. I actually don't. I think I learned very well on Travel Channel how to behave properly,
mm-hmm.
how to kind of
skate the line.
No, not even skate the line. I got to be honest with you. I think shelve a lot of my opinions about certain things.
So know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Yeah, like I don't tweet out. A perfect example: the kid from Kentucky that the Native American was beating a drum in his face. Do you remember that kid?
Yeah.
I had feelings about that when it happened, and I didn't post any of them because I was aware that I didn't have all the information. That is what Travel Channel taught me, and I know I started kind of trashing the idea of having a work job, but Travel Channel taught me to hold on to my opinions and not be this gunslinging shoot from the hip comic that I was. I would go into radio and I would light people up. And we were talking about Mary Lynn on my podcast today, and Kim Kardashian. Let me tell you something about that. This fucking ... or Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag or whatever their names are, or just anyone. And then you don't realize that you light up Spencer Pratt because you think he's a punching bag, right? He's the kid from, what he's from?
No.
He was like one of the biggest reality stars that we've probably ever had. And by the way, from what all I've ever heard, very nice guy. That I don't know anything about him, but he was a reality celebrity star and famous at the time. And I had a joke about him. I was going to light him up. And then you realize he's Chris Pratt's cousin. And so Chris Pratt's always going to love his cousin, and everyone loves Chris Pratt. God forbid you light up Spencer Pratt 8 years ago. Chris Pratt's at a premiere. You're a fan, and he goes, "Hey, go fuck yourself." Spencer Pratt's my cousin. Travel Channel taught me to bite my tongue, to think before I talk. And it also taught me that, and this was tough, but during podcasting, to try not to be mean. It's so easy as a comic to be mean.
Well, you're not a mean comic.
I'm not, but
you've never been mean.
But you never know when you're doing. You don't know what your voice would have developed into in podcasting.
I don't believe that would have been your path. It might have been other people's paths, but you don't have a mean bone in your body.
People say that to me a lot.
Vengeful sometimes, but not mean. There's difference between being vengeful and being mean.
Yeah.
Somebody who's mean is just mean. Somebody who's vengeful is someone who wants justice for what they feel they've been wronged for. So they justify meanness because they've been wronged. But you're not even really mean. Well, you can be mean when you're vengeful, but you're not mean just to be mean.
No, and my comedy doesn't come from.
No, your comedy doesn't come from mean. Or even vengeful, to be honest with you, because you wrote some jokes about some people that you didn't like before that have just faded away and not ever really made it into your act.
Yeah, and
you're not that person.
Yeah, and I think that my experience at Travel Channel kind of shifted my perspective on how to listen a little more, be a little more sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
However, the anxiety that came along with that, like when I wrote a book and I had to send it over to Anna, and Anna was like, hey, we need to, I remember this feeling so vividly. We were dropping off the girls and I was just talking, for those who don't know, there was my rep at Travel Channel. And she was like, yo, you might want to bleep her name out of this, Halston. She was like, hey, and I said, hey, I wrote a book. And she was like, oh, okay. When did this happen? I said, I got a book deal. I wrote a book. She went, yeah, wow. Okay, just so you know, we need to see that. The anxiety, because I was under a morality clause, and there were certain things that I might say in that book that she would need to, and that panic.
That's what you're talking about with wanting to. I see what you mean. I'm sorry. The dogs are ganging up on the cat. So our child clearly did not do her job. Come get dogs. They are ganging up on cat. Okay. Here's what it color corrected. Come get dogs. They ate hanging up cat. That's what the autocorrect said. I hate autocorrect.
Yeah.
It doesn't speak Southern. Anyway, I see what you mean.
Yeah. And so that anxiety, like I'm really proud of Go Big Show and I want to do more of them.
It's a fun show. I really like it.
That want gives me anxiety.
The want gives you anxiety? Gives me anxiety. Or the fear that you'll fuck it up? The want or the fear that you'll fuck it up?
Maybe a little bit of all of it, I guess. I don't know.
I think we all have a fear of fucking things up. I think that's pretty normal.
The beauty of having a podcast, the beauty of my podcast is I've said, it was like in the real heydays when I wasn't on Travel Channel and I was just really focusing on my podcast. It was so fun. I just would freewheel it and get buzzed and talk shit. And I don't think it's changed much. I think the energy, since we've gone to Zooms, I think it's gotten much more interviewy than it's ever been. I'm ready to go back out and have it be more of a hang.
Well, the thing about Zoom, this is what I am learning from, not only from being a Girl Scout troop leader and having to deal with Zoom, but also what our kids are saying, is that they don't want to talk on Zoom because all eyes are on them. So, like if you're in a classroom and you raise your hand to answer a question, everybody's like to the side of you. And so it's very vulnerable to be like, I know the answer to who won the War of 1812. And then if you fuck it up, then you're the one that everybody's like looking at.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think to your point, the Zoom making it more interview, it's much less of a hang because you're just face to face. When you're hanging out, we don't talk like this. So anyway, I was wondering what you did today and where you went and how was the grocery store. You talk to each other and you move and it's fluid and you do other things and you pick your toes and you're whatever. And it's just a totally different feeling. I hate it. I can't wait.
I don't hate it.
Oh, I kind of hate it.
I don't hate it. It gives me an opportunity to talk to people I never would get an opportunity to talk to.
Well, that's true.
And I'll keep doing Zooms, but my goal is to once I get into that man cave, I've got to shift my podcast a tad bit, to be dead honest.
What do you mean?
My meat and potatoes has always been comics. It's just have comics in and hang with comics, and now that the pool of comics has shifted. Not only is not everyone living in LA, but not everyone has a reason to come to LA anymore. Like LA used to be, you do press, you do New York and LA. Now it's going to be like you do press, you're going to go Miami, fucking
Why would
Texas.
you go to Miami?
Because Schultz is in Miami and a bunch of people are moving to Miami.
Oh.
Texas, because Joe and everyone's going to be. I mean, Austin's going to be a legit press stop. When you have a special come out, you will go to Austin. You'll do Your Mom's House, Tim Dillon's podcast. I'm sure the majority of people will do Alex Jones' show.
But there's
Rogan's.
Still enough people here. Mark Maron's here.
But Mark Maron interviews celebrities. Like he even interviews celebrities. I do, for the most part, I just do comics. I actually was thinking about this today because one of the things I want to add to the podcast is obviously bringing in one or two or more comics, and hanging out with
at the same time?
At the same time and hanging out.
So like wife the party.
Yeah. Just like stealing your idea. But I want to do that. And then I was like, and then I really had a great conversation with Daniel Bellelli and talking to someone. I could talk to anyone that knows anything about history. I'm so fucking fascinated by that. I would like to get Jocko Willink. I always mess his name up on my podcast. Casey Neistat, like people that aren't comics, but and then hopefully be able to form a friendship with them and have them back on the podcast with comics that they maybe like or respect or dig. But I think things are going to shift. I think things are going to change with the podcast. I think that's great.
I think 3 people is awesome because that way, not just one person talks typically. Usually 2 people talk and then one is a little less talkative. Like when Kathy and Kirsten and I, those are my most regular threesome. Kirsten and I talk the most. And then Kathy will come in with something super profound and we're like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. And then, but for the most part, it's interesting to me to have 3 voices because you never have 3 voices that are the same ever. Yeah. And it just gives you a different perspective. I love having 3 people. I like it much better than just 2. And 4 is a little hard. Someone just never talks when you have 4.
Yeah.
3's like a good number.
I mean, I always would rather do Rogan with Tom and Ari or just Tom. But doing Rogan 101, well, actually take that back. Doing Rogan 101 back in the day was a fucking blast.
Well, I think he's a different beast entirely, right?
Yeah.
He's a different beast. So you've been working out with a trainer for how long now? 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
How do you feel?
I feel absolutely fantastic.
How
so? It's changing my, I didn't want to, I was nervous about having a signature cocktail tonight because I'm working out with her tomorrow.
We just have one.
I know I'm going to have a couple, but.
No, just have one.
Or just one and a couple. But
just one. One is good.
But I really enjoy working out with her. I love.
But how does it make you feel different? How does it make you feel like you're gaining strength? Does it make you feel like?
Oh yeah, I definitely feel like I'm gaining strength in my legs and my glutes, my hamstrings and my quads. And
isn't that interesting? Because you're such a runner. So
what's so funny is I feel like I've been using bullshit muscles to run, like cheat muscles. Like I don't know why, but like
what do you mean bullshit muscle? Like you've been using one muscle to run, just one?
Yeah, apparently from what she said, I use my quads entirely.
What are your quads?
The front muscle is I'm predominantly running on my quads and I cheat a leg.
You cheat a leg?
Yeah, because
you're all right leg, aren't you?
Because of my sciatic nerve problem. No, I'm actually all left leg. And so my right glute isn't firing from what she can tell.
Interesting.
And so today I got on that and I think I might have pushed it too hard. I'm not certain what was going on with me today, but I had like a little funky day in the middle. I was great past Mary Lynn, got up, and then all of a sudden things kind of fell off for me. I don't know what was going on. I think maybe I had too much coffee. But today I was on the treadmill and I ran. I usually do this workout. This is actually a really great workout. There's an app called Aptive. If I could get Akeem on my podcast, I would love that. This app is is fucking all I run to. It's all I run to. It's great music and you got a trainer in your headsets. The run I did today was 5 sprints. It's a 26-minute run. 5 sprints at 40 seconds.
Okay.
You walk for a minute, like at like a 3.74. You walk in between those sprints.
Okay,
then,
so sprint, walk, sprint, walk, sprint, walk.
Yeah, so it's sprint. And I usually start them off at like an 8 or 7.5 is my first sprint just to loosen up.
That's pretty fast.
It's actually not now. Well, so it's interesting.
It's fast for my short legs.
Your little baby legs. What's interesting is that there's a pace speed, a tempo speed.
Mm-hmm.
Your tempo speed is what you could run a mile at and feel good.
Okay.
So normally a regular tempo speed would be like a 6. Okay.
Okay.
So to sprint at a 7.5, 7 is within my tempo, kind of.
Okay.
Like I can run a mile at a 7. I can do a full mile at a 7 on a treadmill, but it's on the high end of my tempo.
Okay.
So what I've been trying to do is build up my tempo speed, making it very comfortable to run at a 7.
Okay.
Or very comfortable, just to be like, I'm gonna throw on a 7 and run 3 miles, and then you run 3 miles in like probably 27 minutes, 26 minutes. Which is really, by the way, this is getting very geeky, but this is something I'm
geeky,
very passionate about. And you're talking to a guy who ran 1,000 miles last year and is trying to run 2,000.
I know.
So I'm really glad you asked about this. So I do 5 sprints,
Me too.
5 sprints, 40 seconds each. Walk for a minute. Then is what I'm gonna go. I'm gonna fucking
sprints,
tell you.
Walk for a minute. Yes.
And then we do 4 minutes of tempo. Okay.
It won't reach to me.
4 minutes of tempo.
Can I go like this? 4 minutes of tempo.
Are you drunk?
No, I'm not drunk.
Guys, I need you guys to focus because she's not. 4 minutes of tempo. So
I got it.
I have
7 sprints, 4 minutes.
Oh my God. You're a fucking asshole.
5 sprints, 8 minutes of tempo.
5 sprints.
3 tempos.
Stop. 5. Let me just say it once.
One tempo and a marching band.
Now I'm gonna get drunk.
I get it. You run. What our children are not doing their job.
You asked me a question. I tried to.
It's too long. Your answer's too long.
Izzy,
you lost
stop.
me.
Have you worked out with a trainer before?
I have not. I've never worked out with a personal trainer. I've only worked out in like boot camp classes, which I've always enjoyed. A trainer, you're 100% accountable 100% of the time when you work out with a trainer, meaning there's no cheating. There's no cheating.
Because their eyes are on you.
Well, oh my God. This podcast is full of Leantics.
That's an old joke from a TV show we saw. Remember, my eyes are up here.
No, we got it.
Eyes are up here. Nobody saw that show though, but me and you.
Yeah.
And maybe 4 other people.
So yeah, I like working out with the trainer. And if you guys would
so
like
you're running and you run it, you geek out running, but when you run, you're using one leg. So you're really like a one-legged runner.
Oh my God.
So you're really almost like if you were just let go off a treadmill, you just run in a circle because one leg is it's like a boat with one motor. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's exactly. So she is adding your second motor to your 2 outboard motorboat. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm getting motorboated. I'm on 1 outboard motorboat. This would run in circles if it wasn't for a treadmill. That's why I don't run outdoors.
Thank God you have the side rails. You just run right off the track.
I'm looking for a track so I can just run big circles.
So does your left leg or your right leg flap while your right leg?
What I'm upset is
it like pull flap, like that when you run.
What people are realizing now is I married you for your looks because this is the funniest you get. And this is your personality.
This is my personality.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
So is it a baby leg?
I don't have a baby leg.
He's on the way to a baby leg if he hadn't gotten a trainer.
My point being,
he needed to activate his glute.
5 sprints, 4 minutes of pace, 3 sprints, 2 minutes of pace, 1 sprint. Okay. And what I do is I build my sprints, start it like a 7.5, 8, and then I go 9, 9.5 on my middle sprints.
Mm-hmm.
And then today, and I haven't done this in a while, and I also don't do it because I'm by myself in the treadmill. I ran at 11.5 for my last sprint.
Whoa.
And which is really fast. And
you could chase a car at that speed.
Oh my God.
You could just.
I'm like a fucking Doberman. I'm chasing cars.
Except you would run off the road because you have one leg dominant. He'd just be like,
my pace speed was super high today.
11?
A 7 for my first pace.
Oh, okay.
Down to a 6.5, and I kept it at 6.5 for 3 minutes.
Well, when was the 11?
And then on my next pace speed, I did 7s and 7s for the next 2 minutes of pace speed.
Okay.
So what's happening is by working out with Lacey, I am increasing my my muscles in my legs, and I'm running faster and quicker and better than I've ever run. And I'm using both my legs now.
Really?
Yeah, really. And today was actually a really impressive day for me because I ran 5 miles and I ran it really fast. And I was like, fuck. And she said to me, how's your running been? And I said, very strong. Like, I feel very strong on the treadmill.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, you should. This is really interesting. One of the things they're making Segura do for rehab is stand on one leg. Mm-hmm. And she makes me do that in warming up. But I do it for a minute, but I do it on a cushion. Mm-hmm. And I am telling you, the muscles on the sides of my ankles are burning up.
They're atrophied.
And so I think when you work out, you're building all these muscles that you didn't know you needed.
Right.
And it's really fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And I really love it. And by the way, I'm not trying to, I have no real fitness goals. It's just health.
Yeah.
But I feel good and I really enjoy it. And she is one of the best, is literally one of the best trainers in the world.
And she's a really cool chick.
She's
cool. Very laid back, and she's really cool, and she knows her stuff.
She got tested 18 times for COVID this past week.
Jesus,
I think that's right. I was like, wow. I was like, I get tested a lot, not
that much.
She get tested a lot.
Well, the thing that I find really, what she said when we first met her was really alarming for me, and that is not that we are anywhere near this age or state of being.
This statement fucked you up.
It did. She said most people end up in assisted living because they can't get off the toilet by themselves. And that is 100% from muscle mass loss. It's not because of an injury or even because of age. It's because they haven't worked out consistently from a young age to maintain their muscle mass into their old age. And so they can no longer get off the toilet unassisted. And I went, whoa.
Yeah.
That is scary, A, and B, so super preventable. If you just work out regularly, even if you start in your 60s, I would imagine you could still have plenty of time to build muscle mass to be able to get yourself off the toilet. I mean, I noticed a huge decrease in my just physical strength in my mid to late 40s. I just went, whoa, I can't actually just get up off the floor like I used to. I had to hold on to something to help myself get up off the floor. I mean, granted, I was about 20 pounds overweight, but not really I didn't even go in the obese range when I go to the doctor. As far as the doctor's concerned, I was normal and my weight range was normal. I wasn't at any kind of health risk for my weight. But when I started working out with a trainer, one of my goals was to just get stronger, because I was kind of thinking, if I'm in my late 40s and I can't get up from putting shit in the dryer, I am screwed. By the time I'm 60, I'm not even going to be able to put stuff in the dryer. This is ridiculous. I can't continue on that way. And it is amazing. I had the same experience when I started working out with my trainer, is that you don't even know that there's muscles you haven't used in so long because you don't need them. Mm-hmm. And you don't even know to work them out. Like what you're talking about, balancing on one foot. That takes so many different things. It takes focus, it takes balance and strength, and so much minute muscle control. That when do you use that in your day-to-day life? Unless you actively work out in a pointed fashion.
I'll tell you this. I feel very lucky. When I was in 7th grade, my dad got me a set of Bollinger dumbbells.
Okay. What's the specialness about Bollinger? Is it just a name brand?
No, it is a name brand. But what's interesting about Bollinger is they're pretty fucking cool. They're not. I'm saying if you have a young boy, get them for them because they're pretty cool. They're fun for me.
Why
They're
are they
weights
cool?
that spin onto the.
You screw them on.
You screw them on.
Oh.
And so I really love these Bollinger. I think I'm certain they're Bollinger. Will you Google that, Holston? And so my dad got me a set of Bollinger weights, and he got me a Bollinger like workout calendar, not calendar, but like it had all the different workouts.
Oh, okay.
And I got not into it. I've never been a big weightlifting guy. I'm not a big bodybuilder, but from that point on in my life, I always had a pair of dumbbells.
Right.
I've always owned a pair of dumbbells, if not two. A lot of times I would get 20s and 30s or 25s and 35s.
Oh, I thought you meant not one, but two.
No, you definitely get. I get four. And then, hey, tell our daughters that we're working.
Repeatedly.
Call Isla on the goddamn phone. Izzy, no, please, no. I'm having a good time on this podcast, but I get distracted by this dog. Call her.
I am calling her.
Bollinger dumbbells. Yeah, they were really fun and they were really cool. And it was kind of fun to like spin another weight on, like a 2.5 weight on. And, I was a kid and I would just bang out biceps, shoulders, lat. My workout, my whole life has been biceps, shoulders, and lats.
But no legs.
Yeah.
Are you guys not getting my text messages?
Come get the dog, please.
Are scratching at the door. We're trying to podcast. Please help a mom out.
You do it.
Okay. I love you. Thank you.
Ugh. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. So my entire and so for whatever reason, I think I have a base of bicep, shoulders, and lats that I've maintained my whole life. It's not overwhelming, but it is substantial considering I've never stopped doing it my whole life.
Right. It's something that for whatever reason made sense to me.
For whatever reason, running and biceps, shoulders, and lats. That's it. Well, for a long time, push-ups. I used to be able to do 100 push-ups in a row. I couldn't do 7 the other day because
push-ups are hard.
we did chest and then she was like 7 dips, 7 push-ups. I used to be able to do dips. I've never been able to do pull-ups. I'm glad I don't have a son. Keep going.
So Mikkel said to me before, I think I've said this to you, but I'm going to say it to the podcast. Men don't ever work out their legs because their strength is from the waist up. That's where they're naturally strong. It's from the waist up. So they avoid the legs. They don't do the glutes. They don't do the legs. They don't do the calves. They don't like it. You know why? Because it hurts. And
that's not why. That's not why.
He said it's because it's hard.
No, that's not why.
Okay.
I think Mikkel would agree with me. It's because if you go to the beach, everyone's looking at your chest. And so guys predominantly just ignored their legs. It's like the biggest problem is like you get these guys that were buff, big chest, big shoulders, big arms, never worked their legs. They felt like, what was it? There's got to be a saying about it. I'm sure we had a saying growing up, but it was no girl was like, look at the size of his calves. Girls would be like, look at the size of his arms. Look at the size of his chest. He's a big guy. Put on a pair of jeans. No one can see your fucking legs. So like there was no payoff in working out your legs. It's not because it's not hard. Working out is hard on every muscle.
Yes, it is.
It's just when you look in a mirror, you're looking at your tits, your arms, and your shoulders. Very few dedicated body. Like you will only run into dedicated people that are into fitness that work out their legs. And they do it because they know. Because
you have to be balanced in your body. You have to work out your whole body.
Oh, and if you have strong legs, big legs, muscular legs, you burn way more calories.
That's right. You burn more calories.
And so
legs and ass, baby.
And my always workout was hike and run.
Yeah.
That's my legs. But that's not now in my experience, and it's very limited, obviously. But in my experience, with working out with Lacey, I just fucking, we did like 5 minutes of lunges, just walking for 5 minutes in lunges.
Lunges suck. I hate them.
But we did the first day and I could not get through it. I mean, she was like, all right, 1 minute down. And I was like, I've been doing it for 1 minute. Oh my God. And then the other day we did 5 minutes and I was like, she's like 2.5 minutes down. I was like, for real? And she's like, you'll get up to 20 minutes. And I was like, you'll be smoking crack.
Well, we are lucky and privileged in that we can afford a trainer. But, something that she said that I think anybody can do is to have what she calls an accountability buddy.
God damn it.
What?
You're such a fucking ball buster. Yes.
I'm not a ball buster. I'm trying to be helpful.
An accountability buddy. Go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is if you can't afford a trainer, you have two resources that are one that's not new and one that's relatively new. You can find many, many great workouts on YouTube. That are completely free.
Keith Weber. All you need is one kettlebell. Keith Weber has the best fucking kettlebell workouts that Lacey and I have talked about ad nauseum. They're the great. He has a 6-minute workout that you will be on fire if you do.
Well, I'm sure he's wonderful, and I'm sure there are many other people who are also wonderful. But for me, working out with another person is the key. The accountability buddy that she's talking about, like when we chick walks with me and Kathy and Lynn, we chick walk. I never missed a chick walk because I was accountable to 2 other people. And that doesn't cost you a dime. It doesn't cost you anything. And YouTube is also free. So if you can
find great workouts on YouTube.
Exactly. So we're talking from a very privileged place where we can afford a trainer.
We definitely can.
There are people who can't afford a trainer who can also work out by finding what they need on YouTube and hooking up with an accountability buddy.
Well, no, I will defend if anyone ever got salty about going, oh, so now you're just going to spend money on a trainer. First of all, let's be very clear. I run my body through the goddamn ringer on a daily basis. Yeah. I'm not the healthiest person in the world, and I try to be, but I love to have cocktails. I love to eat. I smoked a blunt the other night. I enjoy cigars. I enjoy life. I really enjoy life. I try my best to drink as much water as I can and to work out. But the truth is, I have plateaued in a place where I was 257 when we got off tour in November. When Tom broke his knee, I was 257. I'm 237 right now, but I've plateaued at 237 and I can't do anything.
Right.
And so for me, it was like, listen, if I'm going to be in a pandemic, if I'm going to be healthy, and get out. And the other thing is, very honestly, I put this before I got my trainer. I said, I'm in obesity and I'm available for a vaccine. And I put it on that line. I said, should I stop working out and get vaccinated, or should I lose the weight? And everyone across the board was like, lose the fucking weight. The fact that my brain even said, should I just gain the weight back and get vaccinated was so silly.
Yeah.
But I put my body through the ringer, and I like to have a good time, and I don't want to stop having a good time. But I don't want to be. I want to be accountable to my own health. I don't know if you know what this feels like, and I'm speaking directly into your ear as a listener. Have you ever woken up? I know my wife doesn't feel like this ever. Have you ever woken up and your first thought is, I am fucking up. I am fucking up in a big way.
I have thought that.
No. With your health. Meaning.
No, I've never thought that with my health.
Wake up on a tour bus and you smile and hope you didn't have a stroke in the middle of the night.
No, I don't feel like that.
You ever wake up and go, oh my God, the inside of my roof of my mouth is swollen. Like, what did I do last night?
You probably ate something too hot.
I did. Yeah. But I start panicking. And I don't like feeling like that, but I still liked having a good time. And so yesterday when I ran 7 miles and worked out with Lacey and I felt fucking great. And then me and you have a fucking signature cocktail. I feel like I've earned it. And today when I fucking run the fastest I've run honestly, today was the fastest and hardest I've run since I ran the marathon. And I couldn't really quantify it much before that, but I was in good shape before I ran the marathon. Mm-hmm. Good for Bert. And I feel like I'm okay. I can have a signature cocktail, maybe a glass of wine, and
just one cocktail,
or a glass of wine right
just
after this.
Cocktail.
A Fitvine glass of wine. They're a sponsor.
Just one cocktail.
Sponsor.
I don't have a sponsor.
Well, Fitvine, hit up my wife.
I don't have any sponsors.
Every time, Fitvine. Every time you sponsor my wife, someone clip this out, Halston. Hey, Fitvine, my name's Bert Kreischer. You are a sponsor of the Birdcast and Two Bears, One Cave. If you sponsor Wife of the Party, every time I will drink a full bottle of wine with her on the podcast and do a podcast with her. I am
not every week.
Every fucking week.
No, I'm not podcasting with you every week.
And just for how much?
But that's not my podcast.
What if Fitvine? Divine. She will also
now
have.
he's taking control of my podcast.
I am a control fucking freak.
Yes, you are.
Wait, I have a question. If you're continuing to build strength in your legs and your cardio is obviously getting better and you're running double the miles you ran last year, would you consider running another marathon?
Yeah, I would. I'm thinking about running an ultra. I want to do rim to rim.
Why do you have to jump to ultra?
I know,
I've
right?
already done a marathon.
Yeah, you just did it without
you
training.
You need to just pump the fucking brakes.
No. Michelle Wolf and I are thinking about doing an ultra together.
Which is what?
What is an ultra? 100 miles?
It's 50 miles or over. I think this one's, type in rim to rim ultra marathon. So you go from, you ready for this?
No.
Tell me this wouldn't be fucking badass.
No, it would
and
not.
by the way, sometimes it's the feather in your hat that I go after in life.
No, really?
I
had not noticed.
You start on one, the west rim, and you run down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon across, and then back up, and then all the way down over and back up to where you started.
That's ridiculous.
Is that what it is? Rim to rim. Can you read it?
Yeah, the 40 plus
a little different.
The 40 plus mile route is a grueling out and back journey with more than 10,000 vertical feet of gain and loss.
No.
Which travels from the South Khabab Trail to the North Rim and back up the Bright Angel Trail.
No.
Michelle Wolf is a savage. She did that.
No.
She did it with her brother. Her brother's a big good. Keep going, Halston. I just saw your eyes light up.
No, that's it. I was lighting up because I'm surprised that she did it. That's crazy.
No.
I'm really slacking on my 2,000 miles this year. I really am.
No, you're not.
I'm supposed to be running at least 5.5 a day, and I've had 2 days I didn't run 5.5. And by the way, that shit adds up big. So I'm trying my best to keep. I'm trying my best.
I know, but let's be real. You're going to have a few months where that's going to be really may be really challenging.
I don't know.
You need to give yourself a break. You know, something I know about you, babe, is that you can be very punitive with yourself.
I think that's why I am who I am.
It's part of it.
And I wish more people were more punitive. I wish I could celebrate media. This sounds horrible. I wish I could celebrate.
Hold on. Do you really want to get in this conversation? Are you sure?
Yeah, let's do it. I look at some people, and I'm shocked, and I don't mean this shitty, but I'm shocked at the amount of effort they put in versus the reward they get, and they celebrate it to the 10th degree. Every one of my specials that I've done, I have worked. I sit there. My opening thought is, you are not good enough to have a special. You're not good enough. You're not better than anyone on Netflix. And if you want to do good, you better fucking kill it. And I go out and you can attest to this. I work when I find out I'm getting that special, I work every fucking night. Meaning I go out on the road and do that hour way more than I need to and maybe to a fault. But I look at some people and I won't name names, but some people who I would look at their specials and I feel like they didn't even work that hard, and they just are like, I'm number one. And I am like, maybe you could use a little punitiveness in your life. I think being punitive or being a little bit, maybe not your biggest fan is good. I do believe that. I really believe that. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know if I think you can achieve that without being so punitive.
I'm not sure you can. And I'm being serious when I say that.
I think you can, because I think you can be more a realist and just say what worked, what didn't work. Apply that, move on, instead of being like, you really can be very punitive with yourself.
It hurts.
And I don't know that you need to do that. I think being self-correcting is also something you do really well. So I don't know why, if you self-correct without this kind of massive judgment on yourself, isn't that more productive? And don't you move forward a bit faster than you're dragging this like luggage of self-loathing that comes with punitive thoughts, instead take the self-loathing out and go, you know what? That didn't work. I need to work harder next time and move on. And I know you were about to say, I don't celebrate mediocrity, but
I don't celebrate my mediocrity.
Your mediocrity, right?
And
I understand.
I'm not certain. God damn it! You really do sink in this couch, don't you?
You do. It's like a marshmallow. It's not
and I'm look. I mean, I've just seen people that I respect in our field, in my field, not give it their all or not do what I consider.
Well, yeah.
And then they walk around and they act like they're hot shit, or they act like it's their birthright.
But that's nothing to do with you.
No. It is. This is why I'm self-destructive. Not self-destructive. This is why I am punitive. Is that I don't ever want anyone to think they're going to catch me slipping. And Bert Kreischer thinks he's the hot shit. I'm always going to be grateful for the place I am. I'm always going to pay it forward. I will always introduce myself to people when I see them. Let me tell you something. I was at Brody's funeral. Zach Galifianakis came up to me and said, "Hey, Bert, it's Zach." And I went, "Everyone knows who you are, Zach." And he goes, "Well, I just thought maybe I haven't seen you in a while." I went, "That's who I want to be. I want to be the guy who's like not fucking full of himself, not blowing people off."
But you are that.
I know. I was very proud that there was any connective tissue with a guy like Zach, who's fucking genius, in my opinion, that he came up and he was like, that he did that. It made me feel good that he actually did. It made me feel like he remembered me and he thought I might not remember him. And I was like, brother, I'm following all your movies. But the fact that he treated me like that, I actually was like, that was cool as fuck. And I've done it.
That's humility.
Right. But if you're humble and you have humility, then when you put out a special, you're not the one walking through the store like, hey, someone get my car started. I'm bumping this guy. I'm going to go long. And I've seen that. And I feel like they should have a little bit more.
But that has nothing to do with being punitive. Humility and being punitive with yourself aren't connected. You can be humble and not beat the fuck out of yourself.
Can I argue punitiveness?
Okay.
So I have made mistakes in stand-up shows, on television sets, on set of television.
On television sets and sets of television.
Meaning where I've said the wrong thing, or I've gotten too comfortable and made a joke that was received wrong, or said something on a podcast where even after I said it, I was like, what the fuck did I say? And either I had them take it out or it stayed in. And in the chances where it stayed in, I'll tell you what I did do. And this will never be able to be understood by everyone, but I beat myself up really bad about it. Like I beat myself up really bad. Like I think about it ad nauseum, and it keeps me up and I obsess about it. And I think about it in the shower and I start like, but what that does is that corrects my behavior. And then I go, hey man, we learned a very valuable lesson. You need to be a little more mindful. And a lot of it's a learning process. When people fuck up and they get caught being who they are, right? A good example, and I don't want to use, there's a very famous actor who yelled at someone like, suck my dick with F word. I'm not going to say it just because I'm trying to, the F word, not fuck, but the other one. The one we used to say a lot when we were like 13.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he yelled it at a photographer. And then he got in trouble, and like the gay community came after him and was like, yeah, man, you can't say that word. And he's like, his apology, and that's why I'm not saying this guy's name, because I don't know if his apology was real or not. But I bet he didn't think twice about saying it the next morning. But the next morning he didn't go,
because he wasn't punitive with himself.
And he wasn't like, God, that was fucked up, man. Why did I say that to that guy? Like I do that.
Okay.
I do that when I
just don't agree with that. I don't think you have to beat yourself up to learn a lesson.
That's how you learn lessons.
That's not how I learn lessons. I don't beat myself up to learn a lesson.
But like, okay, is this tracking at all? Are you understanding what I'm saying, Halston?
Yeah, I think it comes down to like how we're raised as men, though. Like that's just kind of how we're raised, right? Like you'll do your chores because if you don't, you're gonna be a failure or whatever it is,
Well, I got that too. You do your chores or you get a spanking. So I got punitive. That's pretty punitive.
I don't know where my punitiveness comes from, but it's definitely how I learn lessons.
Well, I was very punitive with myself until I started working on myself. And then my philosophy changed and I went, I'm going to treat myself like please don't laugh at this because think of it a little differently than what you're going to probably make a joke out of it. But like, if my 5-year-old self made that mistake, would I treat them the way I'm treating myself? No. I would be patient and I would be kind and I would explain the lesson.
God, you're good.
And that I would say, I would lovingly try and teach that 5-year-old part of myself what the problem is, instead of being like, you fucking asshole, which is what I was doing. You're an asshole. Now you're a piece of garbage. Now you're shitty. Now you're a bad human being. That's what my self-talk would do to myself. And then at a certain point,
that's what I do. That's what I do.
But I don't do that anymore. At a certain point, I started saying, how would you teach a 5-year-old this lesson? Because the lesson is what needs to be learned. It's the method of learning the lesson that mattered to me, that I was tearing myself apart when I was already torn apart. So why would I continue to tear myself apart? Instead, why wouldn't I find patience, compassion, love, care?
I agree with you.
And comfort, and say, you made a really big mistake. Let me explain to you this mistake, and let's not repeat this mistake, instead of you fucking piece of shit, which is what I used to do to myself. And it's so not loving.
Oh, yeah, you're so right. I'll give you a direct example. Mm-hmm. So when I was doing a lot of Travel Channel, I was very cocky and confident, where I was like, I got a gig, I got a TV show, I can talk about TV. Mm-hmm. I do stand up, but I wasn't doing enough stand up. Mm-hmm. I wasn't doing enough stand up at all. And I went into Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. And I Preston and Steve one morning, and I was drunk. I'd flown in the night before. I was taking the red eye, and I was like, "I got this, bro. I got this. Like, what are we worried about? I always do radio drunk. I'm fine, right?" And I sucked on radio. I really sucked, and I would like the whole fucking weekend. I would sit up in bed, being like, get like gross with who I was. That I was so arrogant that I thought I could come in and do radio, not prepare, not give them 100%, and just get drunk. And I was like, that's who you're turning into. And I beat myself up so bad about it. And in beating myself up, I said to myself, and this is what I think affects change. And I think this is when, and I don't subscribe to it, meaning I don't cancel people, and I don't read articles where people have been canceled, and I don't celebrate people getting canceled. I don't. But I think what people who are trying to cancel people are wanting is that introspection from someone. They're never going to realize that person could have that. They'll never get it. What they're looking for, they're never going to get. But I tell you, when I say I cancel myself, like I lay in bed and I go
cancel myself,
and I go, man, you fucking Philly's your favorite. One of my favorite markets is Philadelphia. Preston and Steve have been good, so fucking good to me. It's part of the reason that if they ever ask me to do anything.
But have you ever gone back?
Yeah, I have.
Many times.
Many times.
So really, could you have said, okay, this goes into another conversation.
Hold on. Can I just devil's advocate?
Okay.
I could have definitely said, and I think there are a lot of people, comics, in comics, that in that situation be like, hey, you win some, you lose some. I'll be back. I'll get them next time.
No, but that's a bit arrogant.
I agree.
That's not the same.
I agree.
That's not the same as saying that was a screw up.
It's a big fuck
and
up.
I will never do that again.
I will never do that again. And Bert, guess what?
But that's where it ends.
All week.
See, that's where it ends, though. Why do you have to punish and punish
do you
and
remember,
punish?
Do you remember when we broke up?
Yeah.
Remember when I couldn't forgive myself?
Yeah.
Same guy still's here.
You're crying in the shower, drinking protein shakes
with an exercise ball that I had to deflate to get into the shower. Austin, I was there. I remember it. I remember it vividly. I couldn't forgive myself for the way I behaved that night, and I couldn't forgive myself.
I don't know if that's necessarily healthy for you. I think it causes stress and anxiety.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Or is it a symptom of stress and anxiety?
And it's the way I work out.
No,
I work through it.
It's not a symptom.
I work through it. And then I get on the other side and I learn my lesson. To me, I teach myself the lesson. And I go, hey, buddy.
Yeah, but you've beaten yourself up so much. It's just not self-love. Yeah. It's not very loving.
I know. Oh, I know. I'm not a fan of it.
But,
It really sucks.
You must love yourself.
How about this? On my goal to be a better person, meaning someone who fucking, I one of the things I've been beating myself up, and I've brought it up casually on anything I've done lately, is my ineffectiveness as a parent to listen to my daughters or to help parent and not be like this fucking hands on my hips. You will do a sport. You will call that that fucking guy. And I beat myself up so much of the time about it.
About what? About not being able to be that guy?
Not being able to be that great fucking parent that I see everyone else doing. Everyone else seems to be doing
Time out. I'm confused. Are you saying you're beating yourself up for not being able to be the guy who puts his hands on his hips and says you will play sport? Okay.
No.
You're saying you beat yourself up for not being able to be the guy who handles it different from that?
Yeah, the guy that goes, like, I wish I didn't give a fuck. And I wish I was like, not didn't give a fuck, but I wish I give a fuck about the wrong thing sometimes. You do
sometimes fixate on stuff and have a hard time getting off that.
Yeah. Like accents.
Oh, good. Please. We are not talking about accents.
Obsessed.
No, we're not. We're not. It's my podcast. I'm not fucking talking about accents. I'm not talking about it. Okay. So anyway, do
you even know what I'm talking about, Austin?
No, don't even ask him. I will not talk about this again. This has been horrific for 2 weeks now. We've been arguing about accents and I don't want to talk about it anymore. So part of what I was going to say, now you've totally gotten me off.
I'm so sorry.
You suck.
I get obsessed and I fixate on my parenting or my lack thereof, where I am stuck into this old model of I don't have a tattoo because my dad said you'll not get a tattoo.
My dad said so.
And I respected him. I wanted my dad's respect more than anything in the world. You don't even give a fuck about
But the problem is there are a lot of problems with our parenting model. There's a lot of really good things about our parenting
I know
model.
what you're going to say, and you're right.
What am I going to say?
That right now in a pandemic, parenting is
That's not at all what I was going to say. Not even remotely.
Pretend you said it, and I'll agree with it.
That's not even remotely what I was going to say. What I was going to say.
Getting more attractive the older I get. Keep going.
That is true, actually.
Yeah, right?
Yes,
I grew into my nose.
I, however, might not be true. My face is just falling. But whatever. What I was going to say about parenting is that I think our goal has always been to have girls who knew who they were, right? Mm-hmm. Who knew themselves. Not just girls, people who know who they are, know what they like, know what they don't like, know what they're comfortable with, know what they're uncomfortable with, know what they're strong at, know what they need to work on. And sometimes that empowerment, so to speak, backfires on us as parents. So
that's what it is.
It's a difficult balancing act because you want them to feel empowered as human beings. Because I don't know about you, but I did not grow up feeling empowered. I grew up feeling wrong. Like every single part of who I was wrong, according to my mom. Now, my dad didn't have that perspective. A lot of who I was right with my dad. So at least I had that going for me. But when I started as a parent, I don't know if we ever had this discussion. I don't think so. But when I started as a parent, I decided I wanted to ask the question, who are you and what do you need?
You did that. I did not.
And so now we've raised these kids sometimes together, but most of the time apart. So I've raised them. I'm here all the time. So my all the time philosophy has been, who are you and what do you need? And not what do you need, like, let me do everything you need but what parameters do you need? What boundaries do you need? What freedoms do you need? What discipline do you need? What direction do you need? And our children are so very different. They need very different things. And so I've been trying to, instead of saying you will fit in this box, say we have a broader box. And of course, everybody has to abide by certain value systems of, There are rules in our house you have to follow. You don't cheat, you don't steal, you don't lie. Those are basic value systems. But we can't have the exact rigid rules for our two children who are massively different, because inevitably you end up telling one of them that who they are inherently is wrong. And I'm not willing to do that, because I was told my whole life that who I am is wrong.
Yeah, me too.
So,
That's not wrong.
No, who I am is wrong, is what I was told, and will be changed, or you will be dead to me forever. So my option was comply implicitly with what I say, or I have no relationship at all. That was my path with my mom. My path with my dad was not the same. I refused to have that relationship with our children. So I think what's happened in this pandemic is you stepped into this parenting philosophy that I've done by myself a lot, thinking we've run amok a bit, because these girls really are allowed a lot more voice than we were ever allowed as children, because I didn't have a voice as a child. So I possibly overcorrected by letting them have too much of a voice.
Makes sense.
And then you come in and go, why do they get to say anything about anything? Which might not be right either. There's some middle ground where some middle between my philosophy and your philosophy. You're right in some respects, and I'm right in some respects. This pandemic has been a really interesting journey as a married couple.
I'm so glad
and as a parent, and as siblings, and as a family unit. It's been really eye-opening.
I'm so glad I've been here for it.
I guess where
else would I be? But
no, but you toured a lot of it still. But I'm so glad you're here for it too, because to be honest with you, some of this rough and rocky time we've had has been really good for them, because you parented when you were home, but when you were not home, you weren't parenting, and you were not home like 5 days a week. So, and then when you came home, you wanted to be all fun.
Yeah.
So there was no discipline from you. And in some ways, children feel loved when they're disciplined by their parents, not punitively, not abusively, not like aggressively, but to have boundaries put in place by a parent shows the child that they're loved and that you care for them and you have concern for them. And you've always come home and brought home the candy and the soda and the fun and the party and no rules, and whatever mom says goes out the door. And I've complied with it, because I'm like, he's home for 2 fucking days. What am I going to do? Be this hard ass that goes, no. And I would choose my hard assness. But there were some times where I'd go, well, the rules go out the window because dad's only home for 2 days. And so I think it was very confusing for them. And then all of a sudden we're together. I forget to include you on half the parenting shit I'm doing, because I'm not used to including anybody on it, because I'm by myself. And then you're upset because I'm not including you, obviously, because you're here for the first time permanently. And it was such a huge shift for our whole family. And I think now that we're a year in, I think we're actually in a really good place. But the journey to here was super hard, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. And I think that my parenting skill of, not skill, but my parenting style of, we're going to respect the laws, as silly as people will think this is. But if they say we're staying indoors, then we're staying indoors. We're not seeing anyone.
Well, no, I was always that way.
No, I know, but I think that I know. But what I'm saying is that there are people that are listening that are going like, "You guys really did that? You didn't have to do that."
We know we did.
But I think that I was a big stickler about that, a big stickler, and
well, I was like, too. Because
no, but I was way worse, and there were times where you were like. You're like, well, yeah, you can do that. And then I'd be like, hold on. No, she can't. And you'd be like, oh, I didn't think about it your dad's way. Your dad's right. You know, certain times.
Well, you have different perspectives for sure. And I did say, oh, hold on. I didn't have that perspective.
Like the party at the park. And you're like,
you did great.
And no, but at first you were like, I think that should be fine. And I was like, hold on. The state says you're not allowed to have any gatherings at all. That's the rule. Who are these fucking parents that are throwing a party for their kid when the state says you're not allowed to do that. Like the state's saying that. That's what they're saying. And then they're going to just, and so like, I'm a little bit of a stickler for shit like that. Not to say that I'm like a good person. I'm just saying certain things like that. I get, I don't know. Leanne's always said this. I'm a big rule follower, but I don't think the rules apply to me. Right.
That's right. Yeah.
And so I follow the rules, and I would, but maybe I'm not saying I ever did that during the pandemic, but I definitely put a tour bus together and went on tour across the country during a pandemic.
You made it work within the context of what you believe the rules were.
Thank you. That's exactly true. That's exactly true.
That is what you do. You'll take the rules and you'll make it fit your context, but they're still technically within the rules. Right.
Yeah. But my point being,
poor Halston, we made you sit here the whole time and just listen. He could have been snoozing off to the side. He could have been napping. He could have been snacking.
By the way, you're putting out.
He could also be having a signature cocktail.
I personally think this is a great podcast. Should we do one more signature?
No, I don't need any more.
One more signature.
No.
See, that's the part of you I can't get. It's the finger in the butt mentality. It's like one cocktail and you're done.
Why is that a finger in the butt? Why is it everything about me that's regulated negative? You always make it negative. A finger in the butt, inarguably is not a positive thing. I don't think anybody go, yes, can't wait for the finger in the ass. I've been waiting on that all day. That's a fucking negative connotation. Everything that I have that is linear, logical, or balanced, you make a bad thing. And I have to tell you something, buddy. Without those three things from me, you'd be up Schitt's Creek big time. And I love that you bring the party out in me, but I keep everything grounded and moving forward. So you can take the finger and shove it up your own ass. How about that? Want one cocktail, and that's all I want. I'm buzzed. If I drink another one, I'll be drunk. And it's my podcast. And I don't want to be completely flat out slobbery drunk on my podcast. I feel that's unprofessional and unfair. What say you to that?
And that's the promo for this week's podcast.
I mean, come on now. You do that to me a lot where you go, well, Leanne's a big wah-wah. And I don't like feeling like I'm the wah-wah. Why can't I just be healthy?
You are.
I am. I'm healthy. I'm a good person. I am a good wife, and I'm a good mother, and I'm a good friend. And there's nothing wrong with just saying one is enough for me. I don't have to be like you. If I were like you, this household would be a disaster. And if you were like me, it would be very boring.
Yeah.
So we complement each other, which brings me to the next subject. You asked me the other day, why are we still married? Like, why do we work?
Yeah.
I think we work because I drink one cocktail and you don't.
Yeah.
If I drank as many cocktails as you did,
easy,
we'd be a disaster.
I know. But I think there's like, why did it work for us? Like, we're not like,
I think because we're really good friends. And on top of that, we have built a romantic relationship, a business relationship, a parenting relationship. But I think at the base, we're really good friends.
If you were going to write a book about how to have a good marriage, I'm not saying we're perfect.
Yeah. No, we're definitely not perfect.
We're definitely not perfect.
For sure.
You have a lot of holes.
Way more flaws than I do.
Way more flaws. Are you being serious? Okay. Anyway, we'll call it
Bert is flawed.
We'll call it even.
Bert is flawed. Bert is flawed. Did you not hear Sandy's speech to you the other night?
No.
You didn't listen to her?
What was she saying? I don't remember. Say it.
Bert Kreischer.
What was she saying? I forgot. Just tell me what it was.
You didn't listen to her the other night?
Baby, I don't know. I don't remember. What speech? Tell me.
When she was saying to you that there's no other person in this world that could be married to you but me. That nobody else could understand you. Nobody else knows how to handle you. Nobody else would have the patience for your life, for like, you're always gone. Just that part of it. You didn't hear that? Any of that?
Yeah, I heard it.
I thought
it's a sweet piece of cake, though. A lot of people would take this pole position. fucking.
It might be a fruitcake though. Not everybody eats fruitcake. Fruitcake's kind of creepy.
Fruitcake's fucking badass, and it tastes
Fruitcake's
different.
kind of gross. There's maraschino cherries in it.
Let me tell you what I am. I'm an egg.
And sometimes they put green maraschino
I'm an
cherries.
egg, and you can present me a lot of different ways.
An egg?
Yep.
Fragile. You're right.
No, you can
Fragile.
make me as an omelet,
You're
scrambled, right. Over easy,
you are
sunny
scrambled.
side up. Put me in a piece of bread. Frog in a hole.
So why do you think that we?
Me. I'm not trying to be funny right now. It's me. This is her most genuine laugh I've ever heard.
You really think it's you?
It's 100% me.
It's not you at all. It's definitely me. It's not you at all.
It's me. It's me. I'll tell you why it's me. You ready?
Yeah, I can't wait to hear.
I love you more than anyone's ever loved you in your life. And I need you more than anyone's ever needed you. Trust me, we definitely wouldn't work out if I didn't love you the way I love you. And for whatever fucking reason, I love you like obsessively.
Why do you think that is?
I have no fucking idea.
It's because I put up with your bullshit.
No, it's not it. I'm attracted to you, but I love your brain. I love like nerdy things you do. Like, and then like in your least sexy, I find you super hot. Like when your back was out and you're like, just put the vibrator behind my back. And I looked at you and I was like, you're not wearing a bra? And you're like, huh? And I was like, oh, I'm turned on. But like, I love you. I love you more than I've ever loved anyone in my life. Like meaning like boyfriend, girlfriend. But I love you in a different way. Boyfriend, girlfriend.
Boyfriend?
No, nothing.
No.
But I love you more than like, it's.
You think that it's really, it's kind of gross?
How much I love you? Yeah.
It's kind of gross.
Like I explained to Tom one time, the reason I don't cheat on you is not because I care about your feelings. It's because I care about mine. And I would be devastated if I didn't have you in my life. That's why I don't cheat on you.
Okay. I think that's sweet. I think that's kind of sweet.
Yeah. Like I couldn't live a life without you in it. I wouldn't be able to physically operate.
Why? What do you mean? You couldn't physically operate because no one would do your laundry? Bert,
no, I had a baby. My stomach hurts so bad. No, but I think
another reason you're like an egg.
Exactly. Sulfur.
Smell good. Ooh, that was bad.
But the question is this,
Shoot.
Oh, babe.
I know.
It smells so bad.
It's really, my stomach's not doing so hot.
The question is this,
what?
Right? This is not an easy life, right? It's not like, it's easy now. It's easy now. But our coming up together, being married, being really, really broke, you being gone a lot, me working jobs I hated, it was all for our relationship. It wasn't for our careers. It was ultimately because you work to take care of your family. But it was about our relationship. At least for me, it was about our relationship, right? And my devotion to you was my devotion to who you are and celebrating who you are, which happens to be a comic and someone who's highly creative and very motivated and you're someone who is creative in a way that most people are not. There's just so much creativity that happens in your brain every day. It's very inspiring. And my devotion was to that piece of you, not to, we're going to get to be this $1 million, whatever. It was about believing in who you were.
Yeah.
No? What?
No, yeah, I know, but I think it still comes back to in all of that. I know dudes that have strayed and dudes that have
I'm not talking about dudes. I'm talking about me.
Oh, I don't know why you like me.
You have no idea?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
I would have cheated on me so long ago, I would have been like, fucking, I'm.
But why?
Because I'm very selfish. I'm very self-centered. I very much, I take care of me first before anyone often. And it's the same reason I don't cheat on you, is I'm just taking care of me. I'm not taking care of you. I'm just taking care of me.
That's so bad.
It is bad. No,
maybe
it is
I'm
bad.
in the wrong relationship.
No. Don't say that.
Maybe this is really unhealthy for
put
me.
In a boat and throw you out in the middle of the ocean.
What?
Nothing.
Huh?
Nothing. I regret that immediately saying that. But
what are you talking about?
Nothing. If she disappears, just edit this out, Halston.
What?
If you disappear, I didn't say that. Okay.
Are you making some Natalie Wood reference? What are you talking about?
Close. It's a Lacey Peterson reference.
Who's Lacey Peterson?
Oh my God.
Who's Lacey Peterson?
Are you being serious?
I don't remember.
Lacey and Connor Peterson were murdered by Scott Peterson. He
killed her,
put her in a boat, chopped her up, and threw her into a...
Chopped her up first?
I think so. Scott Peterson's still in prison.
Really?
Scott Peterson's such a fucking idiot.
I can't remember names and stuff like that.
I can remember weird things like that because I was such a fan of O&A at the time, and they would just make the
Who's O&A?
Opie and Anthony, and they would make the most horrific jokes about Scott Peterson.
Okay.
And Lacey Peterson and Connor was their name of their baby who died.
So I have a lot of people who email me and say, I'm a Bert and my wife's Leanne, or I'm...
Khakis Python.
Huh?
Keep going.
Khakis Python?
It's a joke I had. Keep going.
Khakis Python.
Yeah, keep going.
Oh.
Yeah, I think every relationship's Bert and Leanne. Or Tom and Christina. You get one who's...
One and one who's the other.
One who's a khaki and one who's a python. One who wears the python around his neck with jean shorts, and one who's dressed in khakis.
So what do you think is the most important thing to make a successful, maybe not marriage, but relationship? Not everybody gets married. What's the most important thing?
I think levity.
I have to agree with you.
It's not just laughing, because we laugh a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the lightness of life.
Mm-hmm.
I
think levity is important. And I think not taking anything personally is very important. Like, I think that I know that most of the things that you do have really nothing to do with me. And I don't mean that in like, I don't matter, I'm not important. But, it's that old saying, of like, people think about you sort of, but like, people don't think about you like 10% of what you think they think about you.
Yeah.
And that's true for everybody. Not everybody's walking around going, well, what can I do for Bert? Well, how can I help Bert? Well, what about Bert? You're thinking about yourself. So
Halston is. Thank you, Halston.
Thank you, Halston. But what I mean is, you're not going, oh, I'm fucking up Leanne's day. You're walking around going, I need this, that, this, and that for me today. I need this for my day to happen.
Yeah.
So if I know that you're not going, I'm about to fuck up Leanne's day, you're just running your own day, then how can I take that personally? It's very rare that I take anything you do personally.
You don't, but I know we're talking about how to have a great relationship. One of the things you do that is pretty intense is you would rather push through and be miserable by yourself than ask for help.
Well, that's true. But that's not to do. We're talking about two different things a little bit.
A little bit.
That's two different
Cats
things.
and dogs, apples and oranges.
Same.
Crocodiles.
Not same.
Cayman crocodiles.
But I think that's important for people who are married to know that if your husband forgets, this is one of the things I use this example all the time. If I ask you to take out the garbage and you forget, it's not that you're saying fuck you to me. You just forgot to take out the garbage. That's what I mean by I don't take it personally. I don't go, Bert just went, oh yeah, you can go fuck yourself. I'm not taking out the garbage, because he would just say that. Instead, he just simply forgets. So my brain goes, he didn't do that. I don't take that personally. He just forgot. Does that make sense?
Can I tell you one thing that has served me really, really well?
Yeah.
And maybe more guys have this, and that's what makes people happier. Or maybe I was broken, but like I was a perfectionist. And like I remember telling you, I still am to an extent,
a little bit.
But one of the gifts that Priscilla Potamus gave me
Aw.
was, I think I've talked about this on stage, and I usually cry when I talk about it, but
no pressure. You don't need to cry.
I'm not going to
here.
cry. I'm not going to cry. I'm so far removed.
She's been
from my
dead
emotions.
forever.
But was I realized her knees were never going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I let go of perfection. I let go of the dream, the ideal dream of, when I was a kid, I thought I'd own an island at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty sure I was going to own an island. I'd definitely have a couple boats. That's how my brain worked, and I think I would hold everything to that standard,
Yeah.
And if you can let go of the standard of perfection
Mm-hmm.
in a relationship and realize, it's like you said, oh, I feel like I'm getting old. I don't see that in you. I really don't. There are times I see certain things in your face where I go, oh, you haven't had any water today. Like I can tell there was like, you got a wrinkle that goes up like this out of nowhere.
Because I'm dehydrated.
Yeah. And so
but
I can see
think
that.
That's a really good point.
I like the perfection part. Like we're all going to get old. The thing is, do you like that person?
Who they are.
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you right now, I haven't stopped liking Bill Burr or Tom Segura or Joe Rogan. They've all gotten older since I've known them.
Right.
And I don't give a fuck what they look like.
That's so interesting that you say that. So if you apply that to the person you marry, it should be the same thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, I
agree with that.
I remember looking at a friend of mine. I won't say his name. I was looking at my friend of mine, and I realized, oh shit, this guy, and it's not one of the guys I just mentioned. I was like, I've known this guy for a long time, and he's becoming an older man. Like he's becoming an old man. And he's before me, and he's I think almost my exact same age. And I went, oh wow, that's crazy. And I was like, I wonder if he sees that in me, because I don't. I definitely don't.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I still have young man hands, no fucking wrinkles, gorgeous hands. I have beautiful feet. My body's getting better. My beard is perfect. I still have hair. I mean, I look fucking great.
Yeah.
What was I talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, anyway. So, but I was like,
you were talking about,
but that doesn't affect the way I look at that person.
So why should it affect
the way I look at my wife?
I agree with you.
Your boobs still look great.
I think
you're in the best shape you've been in.
Well,
I touch your back during sex and I go, oh my God.
Well,
you're like the fucking, like
still
you literally
room for
have
improvement.
This.
Still room for improvement.
Your ass cheeks are, I mean, I love your body. And it's, what's interesting is I love your body as flawed as it ever was when you were at your heaviest. I don't like it, other than the only thing that sucked when you were overweight, was that your self-confidence was in the shitter.
Well, totally.
But when you lost weight, you all of a sudden you became more fun and frisky, and you were like, I'm like fucking feeling good.
Right.
That's the only reason I'd say to lose weight. I don't give a shit what you look like. I think by the way, I kind of liked you a little overweight because your boobs were like a little bigger. And
oh, come on.
I mean, no, I don't give a
well, here's the thing. I think what you said is right. Like we were, for whatever reason, when we got married, we had fun playing Scrabble. We could play Scrabble all day long. And I think that, not that everybody needs to play Scrabble, but when you're thinking about marrying somebody, you should ask that question. If I'm like trapped in the woods, like for a week, would we enjoy ourselves? I think we would.
Yeah.
I think we'd have a blast. So that's what you have to look for, I think, in a relationship, not just with your spouse. If I got trapped in the woods with Sandy, I'd be fine. We'd have a blast. We'd figure out some way to laugh.
I'd be fucked if I was with Sandy.
What?
I'd be fucked if I was with Sandy.
No, you would not.
We would drink all the booze right away and then be hungover for 9 days.
That's semantics. You would enjoy her company.
Oh, I'd love her company.
Who she is what I'm talking about.
I'll tell you the other thing.
Same with Kathy.
How about this?
There's all my friends.
You ready for this? I'm so obsessed with original ideas. I don't like people that tell me shit I already know. I want to hear shit I don't fucking know. Right?
Okay.
How about this?
Okay.
One of the reasons we're still together
Yeah.
is you got a fucking scout's eye, a major league scout's eye for picking friends.
I do.
And
I have
that's
really
something
good
you should be
friends.
aware of. When you meet a chick or a guy, look at his friends. If you like his friends, then you're going to like being with this guy, because throughout life, that person's going to pick good friends and pick fun people. And for whatever reason, you're not good at making friends. I do that for you, but
that's not true.
I'm joking.
Those are all my friends.
I'm joking. But no, but you got a good scout's eye for like, and when I say scout, I mean like Major League Baseball.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I just don't think people think I'm making a Native American
Boy Scout?
slur. No. Okay, but a scout's eye for making friends, and you've picked great people to surround us with.
I have really good friends. I feel so lucky.
It's like they say when you meet a chick, look at her mom, see how she's going to look when she gets older. When you meet a chick,
I don't look like my mom.
I know, but like look at her friends. If she's got dog shit friends, fucking beat it.
I don't know about beat it, but
beat it. Oh, by the way, you had dog shit friends when I met you.
I had some. I sussed them out.
I got rid of them.
Well, they kind of faded away, because the truth about life is,
I had some pretty dog shit friends.
Yes, you did. The truth about
Never mind. This is the worst advice I've ever given anyone.
No, the truth about life is, right, as you change, people either change with you or they fade away. One of the two.
You're either with me or
so
against
you have
me.
to choose. Do I choose to stay the same to keep these people that might be toxic and unhealthy?
Hatterman's in LA.
Or do I choose to change and to walk my path and open up my heart for new friends to show up? And that's what happened for me. I chose to walk a new path, and I opened up my heart, and new friends showed up. And those friends are the friends I have today. There's Sandy and Kathy and Lynn and Jeannie and all these great friends that are on this podcast all the time, and Kat, and I have so many great friends.
Yeah.
But another thing I wanted to talk about was
Charlie's Angels.
No.
You got your hands up like Charlie's Angels.
Oh, okay. So another thing I want to talk about, I don't often talk about religion, right?
Uh-uh.
And I don't really want to talk about religion.
Okay, I've been praying a lot.
We were talking about something. I don't remember what it was the other day. We were in the car, and I had said, I think the goal in life, right, is to be Christ-like, right? And you can take Christ-like and make it Buddha-like or pure or your highest self.
Pure of heart.
Or whatever it is you apply. Christ-like is what happens in my brain, because that's from my childhood.
Yeah.
But isn't the goal in life to be pure at heart? To be someone who gives unconditionally and loves unconditionally and expects.
Then you got to forgive unconditionally.
You absolutely have to forgive unconditionally.
And by the way,
but you should do that in your marriage, not unconditionally, but in your unconditionally is you should forgive. You want to forgive. You should have a desire to forgive, and that be your goal, right, in life.
I
not
enjoy
to
forgiving.
hold grudges. I enjoy forgiving too. You can't walk forward in life. My point is,
and if we're gonna point out shortcomings in our society right now,
mm-hmm.
and I'm guilty of it too, is when they go after someone in the media,
mm-hmm.
like who's recent, Meek Mill.
Who?
Nothing. I mean, okay, I'm trying. I forget that. I gotta.
Who?
No, nobody. He made a joke. He made a rhyme about Kobe, and now everyone's going after him.
He made a what?
No, nothing.
A Ron Bakobian? What did you say?
Nothing. I said nothing. I was.
Just explain it to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
It makes sense to you. You won't understand any of it from beginning to end. You won't get any of what I'm saying. I might as well say it to you in Spanish.
So unkind. I'm a pretty smart girl.
Do you know
I'm just not all over.
Do you know who? See, why would I start? Why would I start explaining? You know, he's a rapper. Yeah, he got a beef with Tekashi 6ix9ine. Do you know about that? No. So stop.
Someone has the number 6ix9ine in their name.
Let's go back to
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Let's go back.
Tomahawk what? Who?
Let's go back to when we're talking about forgiveness.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of some reference that you will get that you can wrap your head around, that where you can, this will make sense to you.
Tomakashi 6ix9ine? Tomahawk 6ix9ine. What's his name?
Tekashi
6ix9ine. Is he also a rapper?
He is a
rapper. And what is his beef with
Meek Mill?
Aziz Ansari? Who?
Why would you say Aziz Ansari?
I have no idea what you're saying.
Let's use Aziz Ansari.
Okay.
Let's use Aziz Ansari. That's a great example.
Okay.
No,
it was me. It was my hand.
Okay.
I was not farting.
So when cancel culture came for him on what I think most people would agree is a bad date.
Yes.
I think most people now would see that as like maybe people not reading subtle signals and maybe people maybe not but it's not
choosing regrettable behavior.
Yeah, and nothing by any stretch that means that someone should lose a career.
It's sexual assault. No.
And I think I'll say out of that from my opinion, but you can say that. And I think you can.
I do not believe that my understanding of what happened, in my opinion, does not equate sexual assault. It equates a date that you regret, which is very different than sexual assault, in my opinion. That is my opinion.
And but what happens is the article comes out and there is a fucking thing that happens in America where it's not excitement, but it's like, whoa, what is this? Adrenaline goes through Twitter and they start tweeting. I always knew that guy was a dirtbag. That fucking feminist shit was bullshit. He was a liar, this and that. And they all do that. Now, if we're talking about being pure of heart and being and trying to emulate, for lack of better words, Christ or Buddha or Muhammad or whoever you want to say,
spirit,
mm-hmm. Then you need to read that article with forgiveness in your heart and say, what happened? I'm ready. I want to forgive. I want to see redemption, and I want to see. But what happens is, sadly, is something, and Aziz is maybe not the greatest example, because I don't think he needed a lot of people's forgiveness. Quite honestly, I don't think that what he did was reprehensible to the point where you're like a Harvey Weinstein or a Bill Cosby. Mm-hmm. And now, but you got to learn how to forgive the worst. If we can forgive people, and there are a lot of people that don't forgive Michael Vick for his behaviors. He's repented, he's done his time, but they won't forgive him. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to forgive everything. And, I'm speaking out of school right now, mm-hmm. but talking to two of my very good friends that are Black. Mm-hmm. That is the problem that they have. And I'm speaking out of school. The reason I'm not saying their names is I don't want to say their words for them. Mm-hmm. I would never want to speak for a Black man or a Black woman.
Right.
But what their problem with white America is the lack of forgiveness, is that we have set up a system where we incarcerate young Black males at an astounding number, mm-hmm. that the system set up to fuck Black males, young Black males. Specifically, if you ever go do jury duty, sit outside in the fucking hallway and you'll see two things. You'll see three things: white people, Asians, and Black people. Asians and white people are in the hallway serving jury duty, and Black guys are getting shuffled through that court system quicker than you can ever fucking imagine. Mm-hmm. And that is a premise I wrote 12 years ago at jury duty. I was like trying to write a joke about it, and I realized there's no joke about this. This is just sad, and that is true.
Right.
But the problem with white America's a lot of the cancer people is that forgiveness is not our strongest suit sometimes. We love to point fingers and say, I'm better than you. And I don't know if it's the American way and keeping up with the Joneses and I got mine, now you get yours, or I've had it rough, now you need to see that. I don't know what it is, but I mean, and then look, I know I'm losing people that you're like, Bert, whatever the fuck, make a joke. But that's my true feeling is that.
No, I feel that way too. Redemption is very difficult for a lot of people to allow someone to redeem themselves. And, even with, it's so cultural here, I think, not only just with the justice system, like you're talking about, even with the educational system, you're either a straight A student with 15 AP classes or you're a failure. And that's not true. That's not true. And by the way, if you're a regular high school student making B's and C's, that's not necessarily mediocrity either. But our culture sets it up. If you have to have AP classes, straight A student, and try to get into the best college you can get into. But that is just so very unhealthy.
This is something you've been preaching for a long time.
Forever.
I want to preface the fact that we are not experts in anything. We're just a drunk couple talking about shit right now.
I'm not drunk because I've only had one signature cocktail.
You're pretty hammered. But here's the thing: is that you've been preaching for a long time that as the longest time, people are looking at Harvard and no one's looking at trade schools.
Yes, because there's value in every human life. Even if you've been to jail, even if you've failed history,
and the fact
even if you suck at softball, every single person, that's what I mean by being like, not again to be super religious, but Christ loved everybody. He loved the criminals, the lepers, the prostitutes, the poor, the rich. He loved everybody. Shouldn't we find love in our heart for everybody
but one of the things,
and allow people to redeem themselves or to have a path different than the highest achievers in this
You don't need
nation.
to run the biggest mega. We don't all need to be Mark Zuckerberg.
You need to be happy and balanced and compassionate.
You told me one time about a friend of ours. I won't say his. I'm going to say his name. Will you edit it out, Holston? You told me about, and you were like, "Oh, this guy. Maybe I'll keep his trade out so no one." But he has a corporate job that he does, and then that job also. And when I say corporate, I mean he works for a university and he does his job, and then he can also do his job on the weekends. And you told me how much money he made, and I was like, that guy can make that from doing that. And there is certain jobs I look at.
It's a trade school job. It is a plumber, electrician, heating and air conditioning person. It's one of those trades where you go to trade school. You are a skilled, highly skilled labor, welder, mason, those hands-on, high-skilled labor jobs that no one, I guarantee you, no high school guidance counselor has said, have you thought about being a mason?
Dude, I would
It's fucking bullshit. Do you know masonry is an engineering job? You just don't have to go to 4 years of school to be an engineer. You don't sit in an office behind a desk. You work with your hands. Some people are supposed to go out in the world and build things and work with their hands and be paid and compensated appropriately for that. And that should be celebrated. And instead, it's not even offered. But in my experience of having high schoolers, it's not even fucking offered. And I think that is so ethically wrong.
Well, it comes with the same territory.
It is wrong.
That we were talking about is that standards or parameters or expectations, values are a little jaded in our country.
Jaded? They're skewed entirely. You are either you either have 4 AP classes and are a straight A student, or you're a failure.
And sadly, and by the way, I don't know. We should take a turn on this soon, but sadly, it can lead to like high suicide rates and
horrible self-esteem.
And thank God,
horrible self-esteem.
Thank God we've done what we have done in this country, and I hope there's no one listening to this podcast that disagrees with this about acceptance, with self-acceptance with teenage kids, and
you mean with like the LGBTQ
with that, with fat acceptance, with like I really do. As a guy who's got a kid, I don't ever want my kid to fucking hate themselves. As much as we started this podcast talking about how much I hate myself, how it's driven me, and it's taken me to where I am today.
It's not healthy.
It's not healthy, but I want my kid to feel good about any of that shit. And fuck, we should pivot. This is
why should we pivot?
Because we don't know any, like, we're not fucking experts. I'm
not an expert, but I can tell you what I observe. I have a Girl Scout troop of 22 girls, and I guarantee you not one of those girls are going to go, yeah, I think I'm going to be a nurse. I guarantee you.
Fucking love a nurse.
That upsets me.
Let me tell you how much.
That upsets me. My aunt was a nurse. One of the most phenomenal human beings. I love her.
They all want to be
smarter than any doctor. She didn't want to be a doctor. She wanted to be a nurse. That's what she wanted.
I've been very vocal about this. Having experienced what Tom experienced in emergency room, and dealing with nurses, I mean, I cried leaving that place.
Yeah.
I'll cry right now. Now I'll cry. It was the selflessness.
Yes.
The absolute selflessness.
The care.
The selflessness of is overwhelming. I don't have that in my capacity to love, I don't think. As much as I would like to say, at a certain point, my OCD would take over and I'd be like, this guy looks dirty. He's got coronavirus. Does someone else want to take table 8? and Tom will tell you, we've talked about a lot on Two Bears. Nurses, man, a good nurse. And by the way, I'll take a medium nurse. I'll take a half-hearted nurse, but a good fucking nurse can take a situation that's very stressful and traumatic and make it not that bad.
Yeah.
And make you realize it's not that bad.
It's true. And that applies to school teachers.
Hey, buddy, we're going to do this. I remember the guy saying, hey, man, we're going to have to reset his arm. And Tom looked at me and freaked out. And the guy just goes, hey, buddy, looked at me and he goes, we're going to do this. And the way he said that, Tom just went, I got it. And we reset Tom's arm. And I thought, if you told me like privately in the hallway, hey, man, you got to reset Tom's arm, go in and do it, I'd have been like, I would have fucking made such chaos out of that moment. But this fucking dude rolled in. He was like, hey, man,
here's what we're doing.
They set his arm wrong. We got to do this. You trust me. I'll tell you.
That's a pretty.
It's an atrocity that yeah, I don't know. Don't get me started.
Don't even get me started.
Don't even get me started.
Well, we should probably wrap up our podcast. How long have we been talking?
1 hour and 45 minutes.
God, it's 10 o'clock.
This is great. I wouldn't mind doing more of these. I like talking to you like this.
You do?
I really do.
It's kind of like a date.
When we get the new podcast studio,
yeah,
we'll do a few.
But you have to come in my room.
I'm cool with that. I like that. I really enjoy. I love talking to you. One of the things if we're talking about
marriage,
marriage and couples is, I love your opinion.
Well, I love your opinion too, and I think that's another. I do love your opinion.
Sometimes I don't like my opinion sometimes.
No, I do. I actually brag on you more than you hear. I think you have really great opinions and amazing insights and a totally different one from mine, which I appreciate. I've never, as much as you think that I think that my opinion is the only one.
You lost me on the third think.
I actually don't think that. I actually think my opinion is only one possibility. And I'm interested in hearing other ones that are viable. I'm not interested in hearing a bunch of bullshit, but something that's viable. I'm always interested in hearing that and having a different perspective, because I truly believe the only way you can learn and grow is to have perspectives other than your own. Because if you just relied on your own, then it's very rare. Where would you grow to? You already have the answer. You need other people's opinions. You need opinions of mentors, of friends, of enemies, even sometimes someone you don't like who can give you an opinion where you go, interesting. I didn't think about it that way. And I'm definitely not doing it like that. They're very valuable, all those things. And you definitely give me a different perspective on a lot in life and in parenting and in our marriage. And I'm not always right by any stretch of the imagination.
How bad's my toe look?
What?
Does it look black and blue at all?
No.
At all?
No.
For real?
No. Which one? This one?
The pinky.
Oh, yeah, it is black and blue.
I stubbed it so fucking hard.
You did. It is a little black and blue.
Ugh.
We'll hear about that for about 4 days. Right?
We should wrap up.
You have your trainer tomorrow?
10 a.m. I gotta run 5.5 miles before then.
What?
Hey, because that's how this fucking works on a broken toe.
I don't think it's broken. It's just banged up real bad.
This is what you get with shitty teeth.
What? You are so full of crap.
So
I have this theory that Bert's hyperbole keeps him in his anxiety. Here's the example. He has a tooth that needed a temporary crown because they're making a gold crown. So he got this temporary crown, and the crown is taller than his other teeth. So he's only got like 2 teeth touching. So would that drive you nuts, Halson? It would drive anybody nuts. So he says to me, his tooth's driving me nuts. And our dentist said, I won't say his name, but our dentist said,
That's what you get when you have shitty teeth.
that's what you get when you have shitty teeth. And I went, hold on. I highly doubt a dentist in Beverly Hills said to you, that's what you get when you have shitty teeth. But if that's what you are saying in your brain that he said to you, that is feeding your anxiety. So perhaps your hyperbole is making your anxiety worse. So maybe to mitigate your anxiety, you should start saying, let me think, what did he actually say? What he actually said
he said, so this is what he actually said. Something to the effect of,
your teeth are really shitty. It sucks for you.
Something to that effect
No.
of like, this is the best I can do with your teeth.
Right.
Here's the problem is that I don't even like sharing about stuff like this. So like my wisdom teeth and my back molars are ground down to basically nothing because of the shape of my jaw.
Right.
My jaw goes like this.
It goes like this instead of like an
instead
L.
of like this. It goes like this.
It just goes
so
straight.
These teeth are the only ones that touch. So when you see it go like this, and so what happens is a temporary crown isn't that thin. It's not as thin as he needs it to be.
Because his jaw is so like this.
So the only thing he can do is gold crowns. That's why I have gold crowns on the back of my teeth, because the gold is very thin. It's also very expensive to put in your mouth, but it's very thin. And so he said, I can keep shaving it down, but at a certain point, it's going to make that temporary crown fairly fragile.
Right.
And you won't be able to chew on that side of your mouth. And so we tried shaving it down as much as we could. And he was like, and then basically got to the point where he's like, that's what you get when you get shitty teeth. and that's what I heard.
But he did not say that. There's no way. And you already know that your teeth are not normal. So you're putting a lot on this guy that didn't actually really is not what he said.
Well, I hear things in hyperbole sometimes.
All the time. We'll have an argument and we'll be arguing. And Bert, I will say like, what you did made me really upset. And he'll say, so I guess then this is over. I did not say that. I said, what you did made me really upset. Verbatim, I said, what you did made me really upset. So you're leaving now. And I'm like, no, I never said leaving. I never said anything about leaving. I just said what you did made me really upset. So you hate me. I didn't say that. I said what you did made me really upset.
How old is Courtney Cox?
Probably 52.
No.
You think she's older than that?
I think she's got to be 60.
No, she's not 60.
She was in her
56.
56? I didn't think she was that old. Why? What made you think of Courtney Cox?
I'm just thinking about her. I'm just wondering how old she is.
Okay. Well, this has been fun.
This was a great time. And I had a glass of wine, maybe.
Where's the bottle?
It's over here.
You're hiding it, aren't you?
It's like that.
Are you hiding it in your hyperbole? It's a glass.
No.
I love that the hyperbole goes less when you don't want to like. Okay, not bad, not bad.
This was a good time. I like doing a podcast.
You don't need to pour another one.
I'll pour
There's
one
no
more.
need to pour another one.
It's fit fine. It's good for you.
No, don't do it because you're working out with your trainer tomorrow.
Oh, I need to go to bed then.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh. Why is that thing like that? That's crazy. The wall.
What are you talking about? Oh, Bert, that was shitty. No, I take it away. I take it from you. I be Christ-like and take your wine.
I say we wrap this up.
Okay.
And make passionate love out here while our kids watch our dogs.
No. They'll walk over here and there's all glass right here. No.
Look, I can wrap it up.
I don't do that. No.
I love you, Leanne.
I love you too, babe. Thanks.
This is a great podcast. Austin, thank you for hanging out, man.
I know.
It's fun. It's fun with you. I gotta say this. I called Nadav. I probably shouldn't say this, but I called Nadav the other day just to tell him how important he was to Two Bears, One Cave. And in doing so, I didn't want to call you out of the blue and tell you how important you are to our family, because you are to our family, but mostly to my podcast. and the amount you've grown from when we met and to where we are today. It is nice to have. It's great to have you in my life. All right. Wrap it up, Leanne.
All right, wrap it up. Thank you, babe, for being once again my fill-in. I am ready for this.
No, I'm a get on podcasts. Like, I'm a good podcast
but not
guest.
for me. You're super easy. For me, I just go, hey, hon, can you podcast? But I mean, I'm happy to have you as a guest, obviously.
I like doing
but I
the
really
podcast.
want my podcast to be about hanging out with my friends and having.
Well, it's wife of the
conversations with my
party.
friends.
Sometimes you got to meet the party.
And you know, it's just been hard to book people. I have the next 2 weeks booked, no problem. But after that, you know, it's just been hard.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Pandemic's
and I know
been
it
a little
seems
hard because
I know it sounds
my podcast is like a hangout in person, and we can't hang out in person. No,
let me hang on. Stop.
no.
Stop. So, you know, let me tell you something very candidly. I reached out to Push to be on my podcast before we, you know, and so, and it seems like an easy get, meaning like, I know I can reach out to Push. I know she'll do it, but man, I love podcasting with that woman.
She's
so
amazing.
Fucking easy to talk to.
Yeah.
And she is so much fun to talk to.
Yeah.
And I love podcasting with you.
Well, thanks, babe.
Yeah, I have a fucking blast podcasting with you, and I would love to do more of them. So,
well, thanks, babe.
Don't think of me as an easy get. Think of me as hard to get.
Well, that's not my point. I don't want wife of the party to be Leanne and Bert. Wife of the party is my project.
But in a fix, I'll tell you what, I'm not a bad guest.
Yes, that's
definitely better than
I'm saying the same thing. I mean,
right.
In a fix, you are a get, but that's not what I want this to become.
We should podcast a fight one time.
You want to do it right now? I could pick a fight right now. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
All right. Halston, we love you.
Thank you, Halston.
Thank you,
Thank you very much.